Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over a series of video presentations I'm making for the Rankin Technical College AWD, that's Application and Website Development Program, and in particular for the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class. I'm making these video presentations based on the book that will be used for the class in the fall 2019 semester, that being Pro ASP.NET MVC 5. Alright, and I am up to the pagination section here. The author says you will see from figure 713 that the list displays all the products on a single page. In this section we will add support for pagination so that it displays a number of products on the page and you can move from page to page to make it look more like a real catalog. To do this, we're going to add a parameter to the list in the product controller. Alright, well, it doesn't look like we're going to make a lot of changes in here, so I'm going to grab this and just go all the way down to here. Alright, so I'm going to go into my list.cs HTML file. I don't think it's there. It's in the controllers file, in my product controllers file. All right, and I'll tell you what. Let's just grab the whole thing here. Paste that in. Let's see, what are the key takeaways here? We now have that we want to show 4 per page. And as we view it, not that we have to do this, but again, I'm doing some chaining here, so I like to add to line up my periods. You don't have to do that. It doesn't make it work any better, but to me, you can see exactly what goes with what. All right, so File, Save All. Let's jump back into here. So as it says here, the page size field specifies we want 4 products per page. We can come back and do this, and we will do this in a different way later on. All right. There's an optional parameter that's been added to the list right there, which means that if you don't specify something, it'll default to list 1. As it says, it has the default action of displaying the first page of the products if you invoke it without an argument. Alright, we can unit test the pagination feature by creating a mock repository, injecting it into the constructor, and then calling the list method. We can then compare the product objects we get with what's expected. Alright, so in the unit test1.cs class, I'm going to put in this. So again, that will be in the unit test1.cs in our unit test folder. First time we've gone into the unit test folder. Clean this up just a little bit. Okay. So that's all the code that is shown on page 179. The author says here, notice how easy it is to get the data that returned from a controller method. I called the model property on the result to get the IEnumerable product sequence generated in the list method. All right, I then had to check that the data was what I expected. All right, if you run the application, you're going to see that there are only 4 items shown on the page. If you want to view another page, you're going to have to add something to the URL. So in other words, as of right now, oops. Okay, as of right now, we'll only see 4 items shown on the page. If we want to go to another page, we're going to have to add that. Question mark page equal 2, which means we're going to add to the query string. You will need to change the port part of the URL to match whatever you have. Of course, there's no way for customers to figure this out. All right. Instead, I need to render some page links at the bottom of the list of products. To do this, I'm going to implement a reusable HTML helper method that will generate the markup for the page that's required, or for the navigation links that are required. So before we do that, though, let's go and actually try to run this. So let's do a file, save all, go back to our list, view it in the browser. We should, as said, we should get 4 items, because we said that the page size was 4. One, 2, 3, 4. That's all that's on here now. Now, if we want more, question mark page equal 2. There's the next 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you remember, there were actually 9 items. So 3. Okay, so we've got everything in there. That's good. I mean, if nothing else, all we've done is we've gone in and we've, for lack of better words, guaranteed that what we think should be happening indeed is happening. All right, why we're getting an error there, not sure. All right. Adding the view model. To support the HTML helper, we're going to pass in information about the view, about the number of pages available, the current page, etc. The easiest way to do this is to create a view model. Okay, so we want to go into the models folder and create something called paging info. So let's go to our models folder. In fact, first, for now, let's close our unit tests. Go into our models folder. In Web UI, okay. Paging info. So there's that. We want to add this. And it says a view model is not part of the domain model. It's just a convenient class for passing data between the controller and the view. To emphasize this, I put the class in the UI to separate it from the domain model. Okay. Again, some people might take umbrage, as the saying goes, with the fact that I'm doing a lot of copying from the book. But I'm doing a lot of copying from the book because I'm human, I like to think so at least, and I could easily make mistakes while I'm copying stuff in, and I don't want to do that if I can help it. All right, so let's see. That gets us to adding the HTML helper method, which is on the next few pages here. I think we can get that done in this particular lecture. Now that I have a view model, I can implement the helper method, which I'm going to call page links. Create a new folder in the web UI called HTML helpers. Okay, there it is. And add a new class called PagingHelpers.cs. Whoopsie. Contents are shown here. So again, let's make this smaller so we can grab all of it, copy it to the clipboard, paste it in here. All right. This generates the HTML for a set of page links using the information provided by the page info object. Okay, there's a thing in here called a func. That func parameter accepts a delegate that it uses to generate the links of other pages. Now, good, bad, or indifferent. All right, one thing about the author that the author does here, okay, one thing again that the author does here is he is using a lot of the stuff that he has discussed in earlier chapters. Okay, all right. See if we can finish up this part of the section here. So we want a unit test for page links, and that's on pages 182 and 183. And actually, I'm at 12 minutes. I think this is a good place to stop. All right. Yeah, I don't think there'll be any problem doing it like this, the way that, just looking right here. Okay, so we'll stop right here. We'll pick it up again at the beginning of the next section.